This is Gros Michel, a banana so beloved it was almost wiped off the face of the earth. I wonder what it tastes like. Anyway, in Balatro he has a 1 in 6 chance of spontaneously disintegrating. That's why I keep calling it Gros Michel. And this is Yorick, Shakespeare's dead jester. He powers up after 23 discarded cards, because that's how long he's been dead. He's the best dead guy you'll ever meet. And this is Mr. Bones. He'll take you on a ride, but unlike its source material, you don't want to get off. Balatro's jokers are not okay. And neither am I after my wife's research on them. Yep, I really stirred the pot with that monkey video last time. Get it? Stirred the pot? Only have 100 chips left and look, a joker. Yup, we're talking card games this time. Balatro is a roguelike deck building game where jokers aren't just game breaking. They're social, economical, political, historical and literary references, which most people don't care about, but I do. Because if there's one thing I love, it's unnecessary research into game design choices no one asked about. I want to dive deep into what Balatro's jokers actually mean, from extinct bananas to opera murder to why Odd Todd is the most accurately named man in existence. Welcome to the only card game where your win condition might be a jester who drank 8 gallons of wine a day. I'll be grouping these jokers by theme, history, economy, chaos, and other forms of clown-based trauma. Let's start with the classics. Balatro doesn't just throw in jesters for flavor. These guys are ripped straight from literature and history. Which means that someone at Local Thunk must have went feral in Wikipedia footnotes, or even better, skipped none of the literature classes and kept all the notes. Respect. Let's start with Chicot, a real-life court jester from 16th century France who served 2 kings and lived long enough to turn political commentary into a survival strategy. In the game, Chicot disables the blindness effect of boss blinds, which means that they will no longer take effect. Which is fitting, since the man was literally known for piercing political blindness with insults. He was basically the 1500s version of someone ratioing the king in social media, except in person and with insults. Then there's Triboulet, another French jester and the inspiration for one of the best jokes in pre-revolutionary Europe. Story goes he slapped the king's ass. The king said, "Say something even more insulting and I might let you live." Triboulet replied, "Forgive me, your majesty, I thought you were the queen." That's why his effect only applies to kings and queens. That's not just lore, that's comedy with an edge. Of a guillotine. Yorick. Yorick is the skull Hamlet holds while monologuing about mortality. The one John the Heart ruined for me forever. He's also a joker that powers up after exactly 23 discards. Because in the play, the gravedigger says Yorick's been dead for 23 years. That's either a direct Shakespeare reference or the most poetic way to turn trash into damage. Either way, it's a power spike built on a graveyard, which is metal as hell. Shakespeare was hardcore. Perkeo is based on Clemens Pankert, an 18th century jester who was also the keeper of the Great Heidelberg's wine barrel. He allegedly drank 8 gallons of wine a day, just like most of my friends. In the game, he lets you stockpile consumables and expand your card slots, because he physically could not stop. He's basically a legendary drunk pelican case. If you see Perkeo in your run, rejoice. The clown of endless wine has blessed your table. Canio comes from the opera Pagliacci, where the lead actor murders his cheating wife and her lover on stage, and then proceeds to sing one of the best arias in opera history. It's tragic, loud, and Italian. The Joker equivalent of slamming a wine bottle in slow motion and in black and white. His effect powers up when you destroy face cards. Literal drama. Executed mid-hand. The tears of a clown are multipliers now. Ridi Pagliacci. All these jokers reference real stories, real deaths, real performances. But that's the first category. The second one is also great: economics, fruit, and the slow collapse of late-stage capitalism. Look, history is fun. Morbid sometimes, but still a lot of fun, in a number of ways. What's cool about Balatro is that they made a deck-building game out of economic collapse and debt spirals, using credit cards, bananas, and coupons. Gros Michel was once the king of bananas, sweeter, denser, and tougher than the ones we eat today. Then, a fungal plague wiped it out in the 1950s. In Balatro, he has a 1 in 6 chance to just vanish, permanently. This is historically accurate and a great way to lose your run. It's like if Mario Kart gave you a banana peel and then decided to die of disease mid-race, infecting all the other peels. Enter Cavendish. He only appears after Gros Michel dies. That's not a joke, that's crop succession. You literally have to kill your old banana to get the new one. This isn't just a reference, this is fruit-based inherent generational trauma. Credit cards let you spend $20 beyond your actual balance. For $1. No APR, no interest, just plain pain of digging yourself out. It's a perfect simulation of financial ruin, but with clowns. Having fun yet? Mail-in rebate pays you back for dropping specific cards. It's a direct reference to the world's most annoying sales tactic. Buy it now, then spend 6 months fighting a form for $5. Remember, time is money. Which one's more valuable to you? Just like real rebates, it sounds like free money, until you realize you're rearranging your deck to chase a nickel. Economically accurate, emotionally draining, relatable, perfection. Flower Pot gives you a 3 times multiplier at a condition that to me personally is the most annoying. The name sounds nice, almost cozy, but the real joke is in the pot. In poker, the pot is the prize. In Balatro, Flower Pot grows your pot. A pot growing instead of a plant sounds inconvenient. So it's like a cross between gardening, gambling, and the illusion of upward mobility. These jokers aren't just economic, they're existential. You're building a wobbly house of cards with dollar rebates and extinct fruit. And if that doesn't serve as a perfect metaphor for modern life, I don't know what does. So far, we've had dead jesters and economic banana warfare. But let's pivot to the real stars of any casino. Clowns! Acrobats and assorted freaks of arithmetics or even math. Those jokers aren't just chaos by their mechanics, but by their very soul. Chaos the Clown gives you a free reroll every round, which is cute until you realize he's slowly rotting your financial instincts. He's the enabler, the retail gremlin. He's what happens when you enter a store, start with touching nothing, and still somehow leave broke. Every run becomes a psychological experiment in impulse control, but he's saving you money, ironically, which makes him the most honest clown in the game. Odd Todd gives you money for playing odd-numbered cards. His stats are odd, his head has an odd number of tassels, he's numerically cursed after the nerf. It's like someone fed an accountant into a random circus generator. He used to be too good, so they nerfed him, which only made him even more odd. If you ever needed proof that math can be funny and sad at the same time, it's Todd. Poor, beautiful Todd. He flew a little too close to the sun. You could have been even Steven, Todd. Mime is such a clever design. He copies the effect of other cards left in your hand. Like a real mime, silent, slightly unsettling, and weirdly useful in the right context. And just like real mimes, his best performance happens when no one's watching. He's the one clown that doubles your utility without making a sound, while remaining forever creepy. I bet if most mimes would start talking, they end up in jail. What are you hiding? Acrobat rewards you for clutch hands. He activates when you play your last legal hand of the round. In other words, the big finale, the last hurrah. just like a real acrobat. Flips, stakes, and a polite panic attack. You hold your breath, hit submit, and pray the multiplier hits before gravity does. Showman lets the same shop items reappear, which sounds minor until you realize he's turning the entire store into Groundhog Day. It's like a used car salesman learned sleight of hands. You keep thinking, wait, haven't I seen that Joker before? You have. He's been waiting, watching, repricing himself. If you ever wanted a magician who's also involved in retail, Showman is your guy. There's also Fibonacci, a card that rewards you for playing in the pattern of an ancient Italian mathematician. You know, the sequence that shows up in sunflower seeds and so common in art and artsy movies. Play it right and you're not just scoring points, you're invoking cosmic balance. Play it wrong and you're just a guy holding a 5 wondering where it all went wrong. These jokers might seem silly, but behind every floppy head is a powerful strategic enabler. These aren't just circus freaks, these are policies in grease paint. And they're also a lot less creepy than their real-life counterparts. Not all jokers are clowns, some are academics. These are for people who don't just build a deck, they curate one. Players who whisper, elegant to themselves after drawing an ace. Scholar rewards you for playing aces. Not just because A is for ace, but because A is for A+. Scholar is the nerd who always shows up early, wears elbow patches, and rigs the math club elections. Best used with Fibonacci. This is synergy, folks. Intellectual synergy. Remember to keep stacking the deck with aces at every opportunity. Your run just graduated with honors. Cum laude. Have Joker gives you +20 multiplier when you play a hand with 3 or fewer cards. That's not just a mechanic, that's a minimalist manifesto. Do less, get more. It's the Marie Kondo of jokers. If the card doesn't spark joy, then you might be playing on a golden chip difficulty and consider all jokers that don't give you X multiplier or grow your stats as junk. These jokers are for thinkers, the tweakers, the number whisperers. They aren't flashy, but you can make them shiny. They will make you feel smart for sinking 5 hours straight into a roguelike. Let's move on to the final group, the absurd ones, the meme cards, the jokes that snuck in and stayed. Some jokers are thoughtful, some are strategic, and some are just Mr. Bones. These are the meme cards, the internet runoff, the strange little gremlins that feel like inside jokes from a parallel universe. They're dumb, they're powerful, and if you don't love them, I understand. Nothing beats Yorick. Mr. Bones' Wild Ride is a meme born in the fever swamps of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. A ride so long that passengers begged to escape for 4 in-game years. In Balatro, Mr. Bones gives you a second chance when you bust. That's it. That's the whole effect. He saves your run, but you'll pay. Not with money, with time. He's the literal embodiment of I want to get off Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. And he says no. Cloud9 pays you $1 for every 9 in your full deck. Doesn't matter if you played them or not, doesn't matter if you see them, just own them. It's a passive income scheme in weather form. Thematically, it's being on Cloud9. Joyful, euphoric, slightly fraudulent. Maybe that's what Bryan Adams meant all along, the true prophet of lame pop music. And I just dated myself horribly. Balatro is many things, a roguelike, a deck builder, a balancing act of math and nonsense, the most rigged of poker games ever. But to me, what makes it great isn't just the gameplay, it's that thought that went into all these jokers. They're like actual characters, some funny, some tragic, some drunk on historical wine barrels. But they're not just modifiers. They're weird little symbols pulled from culture, literature, memes, math, and emotional trauma. Fun! Thanks for watching. Let me know which Joker you think is secretly a philosopher. I'll be over here, rerolling for Yorick.